What's really good, my people? Welcome into Buckets, Action Network's daily NBA betting podcast. We're in the workshop, NBA slate Wednesday, so you know who's on the mics. I am Sean Little, the host, and we got the guys, J Money, Is Money, and Albert Wynn, AC Analytics Capper. You know the deal. We pick the games, we give the cap, we get you guys out of here. Presented by BetMGM, the king of sportsbooks. Go download the Action Network app. College football bowl season is on the way. The NBA is in full swing. NFL regular season is wrapping up. All the numbers and picks you need is on the Action Network app. Go download that ASAP. J Money, Is Money. What are you looking at for the Wednesday NBA slate? What's your best bet?
I like the Spurs, man. I like them in every way, to be honest with you, but I'll go for the show. I'll go Spurs first half. Official line isn't out yet, but with it being 3 for the full game, I'll go plus 1.5 for the first half.
AC, you looking at something similar?
Very, very similar. I like the Spurs full game plus 3 all day.
All right, I'm going right back to the Milwaukee Bucks. Give me the Milwaukee Bucks to win the first quarter and full game minus 115. All right, fellas, y'all are both fading King James on the back-to-back and the Lakers. They come off the title in the in-season tournament in Las Vegas. Then it's a title, dog.
Stop it.
Banner's going up,
Raise the
fellas.
banner.
The banner is going up. They said they're going to make it a different shape. You know what I'm saying? A different color, different shape. But the banner is going up. Adam Silver made the call and said, yeah, you're going to have to hang that. And there will be room for other years, as I read from our guy Sham Sharania. So okay. So I'll make you guys feel better. They're coming off the win in the in-season tournament. They went straight to Dallas. J Money, Is Money cashed the first half already. Now they're on a back-to-back in San Antonio, who can't get a win. So I'm going right back to you, AC. Why do you think they either get a win or keep it very, very tight with the plus 3?
Oh, I think they get the win, but for the show, I'm going to go with the plus 3. But yeah, you're right. I mean, the Lakers are in-season tournament champions, so it's a nice spot to fade them tonight. Now, with their stars were questionable, they ended up playing, and they both played really well. AD faded in the second half, but that's just AD being AD. Now you have two, guys that are not 100% playing on a second night of a back-to-back with travel against arguably the worst team in the NBA, 3-19 overall. They've lost the last 4 straight against LA head-to-head. So, I mean, this team isn't good, but we've talked about them previously. They have talent. I don't know why Pop's not playing like Trey Jones at point guard, things like that. But I think it's a great spot for the Spurs, not only to win full game, but I love Jay's play first half. I would even go first quarter if you want. Not only potentially AD and LeBron might sit, but even if they do play, I don't think they're going to play a full, 35, 40 minutes.
Jay, Spurs 4-7 against the spread at home. Lakers 5-6 on the road. 14-7 to the over when the Spurs are involved in a basketball game. On the flip side, Lakers 9-15 to the under. We know they can focus on D and get busy on that end. Talk to me about why you're taking the first half plus 1.5 for the Spurs.
Well, first off, I can't say that this is guaranteed, but I don't see Anthony Davis or LeBron James, for that matter, playing in this game. I think this is a letdown spot for the Lakers. I think that they might go on a little losing streak here. We saw how they celebrated like they won the actual championship, and now you have to go and play more games. So you were down they were down 15 points versus the Mavs. You come all the way back, you take the lead, and that game went down to the wire, right? So, but we saw AD. First off, we saw him strain his groin in the championship game. So he was questionable. He ended up playing tonight. Now we saw him strain it again. Now, if you want to have this guy for the rest of the season, you don't want to play him in his spot. LeBron James, we know he's 38, 39 years old with a calf injury. I just don't see these guys playing here. This is a spot for the Spurs. They've lost a record, like they just broke history for their team and lost. They lost the most games in history, in Spurs history, in a row. I think that comes to an end in this game. I do think they win it, but when we know what the Spurs do, when they come out and they play well, even when they lose a game, in almost every single one of these games they've lost, they come out hot in the first quarter and first half. I expect them to do it here at the house. They have the rest advantage. Lakers likely won't be at full strength here. Spurs are the 5th best against the spread team in the first half at the house at 8-3 against the spread at home. You're going to make it 9-3 after this one. I think they come out hot and ready. It's finally time for this losing streak to be over in this one. Give me Spurs in the first half, but to be perfectly honest with you, I think they come out and cover first quarter, first half, and full game. A little trifecta J spot here.
Let's talk about the injury report because you guys are dead on there. Anthony Davis, the classic available injury, illness, left abductor, hip spasms. LeBron available, left calf contusion. But then Vanderbilt, who played in the in-season tournament, was out tonight. Gabe Vincent is still out. And I just don't – I agree with you guys because this is – if we're going to take a night off, this would be the one to do it. LeBron, this might be one of those penciled in spots. And also, this is the type of things you need to pay attention to in markets. Now, nothing's been announced. No one's come out and said they haven't played. Number opened at 6 and immediately is down to 3. Why is that?
It started to trickle, Sean. I saw it come down to 5.5, then 5, and I'm like literally sitting on the couch watching the game. As soon as we saw AD kind of come up a little gimpy, boom, 4.5,
right.
Then 4, and then the official news after the game saying that they're uncertain for Wednesday. Then it pops down to 3. So I think the Spurs close as the fave right before game time.
Right. So coming in. And I say immediately, that's what I mean. I mean, before the game is over, the number's already on the move and going down. So it's an interesting spot. Keep an eye on this. I was on the Pistons first quarter yesterday against the Pacers. Same thing as you, Jay. Same thinking, just fading a team that's been on the road, coming off the in-season tournament high. And then now they got to go to Detroit and get up to play the Pistons. That's going to be tough, at least at the start of the game, right? But once the Pacers did start to get rolling, they were able to get the W, but they did have all their guys. Let's see who plays for the Lakers. And we're going to have to catch the falling knife here at one of these games. Detroit's going to pick up a win sooner or later. So is San Antonio. Let's see.
They're a lot worse.
Let's see. You think Detroit's a lot worse than San Antonio?
I think so by far. First off, I think the Wizards are the worst team in the NBA. The Pistons, they're not supposed to be this bad, but the way that they're playing is a lot worse. At least the Spurs are showing signs. At least they can come out and get a lead in the game. The Pistons are just they're absolutely dreadful. I don't even want to talk about this team right now, to be honest with you.
I think I agree with that assessment. Honestly, I think the Spurs are trying to lose. Like Greg Popovich, in my opinion, knows exactly what he's doing. I think he's given his young players some run, getting some L's, getting some failures, getting another high draft pick, and then just continue to build. Because I think at the end of the day, you're going to trust someone like Greg Pop over anyone in Washington, over anyone in Detroit. So I agree with Jay there.
Well, hopefully not this game, AC. Just let them win this game, and then you can lose 17 more after this.
Yeah,
just win this one.
Yep, they'll take care of business against LA. And honestly, we talk about maybe LeBron sitting, maybe AD sitting. I honestly don't even care. I think the Spurs will win outright no matter what.
All right, there you go. 8 games on the slate. 2 of our sharpest guys went straight to the Spurs, Lakers. Pay attention. I'm going to go to the Bucks Pacers once again. I'm going to go Bucks first quarter full game minus 115 I've seen in the market. Big time revenge spot coming. 2 straight losses to the Pacers, including that in-season tournament semifinal that I was in the building for. This is the first time the Pacers will actually be playing the Bucks in Milwaukee. Now, very interesting situation in the in-season tournament in the semifinal. The building was kind of empty. Very slow start from Dame Lillard, like one of the slowest starts I've ever seen him show up in essentially a big-time game. He did pick it up in the third, and that's when the game got tight. But that start, they never really could bounce back from, and the Pacers just kept the pressure up the whole way. But this is the first time they're going to be in the actual Milwaukee Bucks building. The last time the Bucks lost in Milwaukee, Wisconsin was on Halloween versus the Hawks. They are 11-1 in Milwaukee. That Halloween game versus the Hawks was the second game of the season. Now, the Bucks, I expect to come out ready to go, especially after losing 2 straight, and they're playing the Pacers team who is poor in the first quarter. 2-7-1 ATS in the first quarter on the road. And the Pacers have absolutely nobody to slow up Giannis, especially down by the cup. We saw what Anthony Davis did to Miles Turner. Absolutely obliterated him, wiped him off the court out in Vegas. Listen to the last 4 games for Giannis Antetokounmpo versus Miles Turner. These are all in 2023. Last game out, 37-10 on 68% shooting from the floor. 54-12 on 76% shooting from the floor, 16 of 18 from the line. 25-9, 5 assists on 59% shooting from the floor, 10 attempts from the free throw line. 41-12-6, 55% from the floor, 18 free throw attempts. Those are the last 4 games Giannis has seen Miles Turner. He absolutely owns Miles Turner. And if you go back and look at the last 10 games that Giannis has played against the Bucks, the numbers are absolutely outrageous. I wasn't able to see, they didn't have a prop posted for Giannis in this matchup, but keep an eye
I'm
on
looking.
that. If you
I'm
see
looking right
anything
now.
around that 30-31 number, I'd be hard-pressed to not take that as well. Pacers have been on the road now since December 5th. They were on the road two straight games before that December 5th home game. So they've been on the road quite a bit. Roller coaster of emotions with the in-season tournament. They go right back on the road and play a Detroit Pistons team. Like I said, I cashed the Pistons first quarter in that matchup. They looked sluggish and slow to start that game. If they do that against the Milwaukee Bucks, I don't think they get a W. That's why I'm going with the Bucks here. Also,
It's at
game
34.5, Sean. His points prop.
34 and a half is a hefty number. So I was
Man,
looking for that before I hopped on. 34 and a half is a big number, but there's in no way, shape, or form am I looking at the under there. It'd be an over or nothing for me. Last thing here, fellas, Dame time celebration needs to be accounted for from Tyrese Haliburton.
that's the
Simple
cap
as
right
that.
there. That's the
Dame
cap, Sean.
Dame Lillard is going to make sure that shit Tyrese Haliburton did in that game is going to be accounted for. There's no way Dame and the guys have not talked about this, and they've lost 2 straight to these boys. I expect Milwaukee to come out on their ass at the tip and close this game out and get the W. I wouldn't be mad if you laid the 6.5 as well. Jay, how you feel about that?
Bro, you nailed it. I mean, if I didn't like the Spurs spot so much, I was going to be on Dame. I was going to do a little same game parlay with Dame over his points. AC, if you don't mind, let me know what the Dame points prop is. I think Dame goes over his threes. I think he goes over his points. I think the Bucks win the game, win and cover. It's a double revenge spot. They've lost both games versus the Indiana Pacers. They just got kicked out of the in-season tournament by this same Pacers team as well. They're at the house, home crowd behind them. But you said it right there. The whole Tyrese Haliburton, that's cool. You're doing that in the moment, but like Dame said, I mean, that's why you got to listen to the post-game interviews. He's saying you never know. It might not be your day next time. And I kind of just took that as like a circle the calendar type of spot. I can't wait until I see this team again, and I'm gonna show him why you should never do that again. You're right there on it. But I think it's actually the same game parlay to get some plus money. Dame over his threes, Dame over his points, plus the Bucks on the money line. I think it's cash right there, man.
Dame points
AC.
is juiced to the over at 26.5. Dame
I love it.
threes, Dame threes is 3.5.
I love it. I would take Dame points over Giannis points. I think this is the game that they defer to Dame, and he tries to put up 50 against these Pacers.
Yeah, total sits at 258.5. So yeah, the both Dame and Giannis could go for 30 plus here without issues. This is a very good spot for the Milwaukee Bucks to absolutely try to send a statement. Now, Jay, we did talk about how it feels like a bad matchup for Milwaukee against those boys. When they get out and put pressure on them, Milwaukee seems to have trouble. Chris Middleton can't move his feet. Beasley is a cone, as Jay Money has laid out multiple times. Dame, we know, is not interested. So it's a bad matchup in a lot of spots. But if they don't show up in this situation at home, first time they play these guys in Milwaukee, I would be shocked. 11-1, like I said, at the crib, haven't lost a game since game 2 in their building. Give me the Bucks first quarter, full game, -115.
It's that pick and roll defense, bro. Like with Brook Lopez dropping every single time. Tyrese Haliburton has 10 feet to work with, right? That's why in the championship game he couldn't do that against AD because AD's bodying him up on the perimeter. With Brook Lopez is a lot easier. You get a lot more freedom. But I think this is a game. I agree with you guys. This is a game where that championship, medal comes out of the Bucks. I know Dame's never won, but he's a championship caliber player. Like I think I think that they're both gonna turn up. To be honest.
Yeah, you can even look at the team total here for the Bucks as well. There's a lot of different angles to work the Bucks.
For at least one game, I think they'll play some defense. Like when you get turned up versus a team, you start to, you know what I'm saying? At least I think Dame will at least care to try and, I mean, him and Hallie got a little something now. He's seen him do that. Dame gonna be fighting over screens. At least for one game, you're gonna see him at least trying to pay attention to defense. It's kind of like the Spurs. Like they might not win many more games this season, but for this particular game, they're gonna turn up. And I think the same thing for Dame. I'm taking over his 26.5 points. It's just what I'm doing.
I'll close it on this. I don't know if I've ever seen Tyrese Haliburton on the court, on the ground. Is anybody going to put this man on the ground? I'm serious. Because it looks like
he's just running around.
He looks like he's just running around doing whatever he wants on every single possession. And he's absolutely sensational at it. He's coming up. He reads every situation the correct way. He'll leave his feet and pump middle. If you crash, corner. If you don't crash the corner, dump. If you do neither and you're indecisive, floater. But somebody has to get physical with Tyrese at some point. I'm not saying get violent and try to hurt the man, but he's got to feel you at some possession of the game.
This is the old head in Sean. Back in the 90s, back in my day, if someone was busting my ass, I'll be, knocking them over. So I agree,
we need more of that.
Yeah,
we need more of that in today's NBA. These guys are too soft, man. I keep saying it, and I take all type of flack for it, but these guys are too soft, man. And the last thing I'll say, I'm not going on a rant, but you can't be comparing guys in today's NBA to the old NBA. I'm sorry, you just can't do it. I don't care about numbers, any of that. They played a whole different style, and it's exactly what you're saying, Sean. They're not just letting you run around, get comfortable. I don't care if somebody's put out there just to foul out. We're gonna put a body on you, and guys like Tyrese Haliburton might not like getting roughed up. So I think we might see some of that tomorrow.
Haliburton is skipping around after plays. Nobody's ever touching Tyrese Haliburton.
Can Chris Middleton step up though? Like that guy looks washed, yo.
Yeah, he's shown flashes of stepping up, but yeah, I mean overall, he's just an older guy, man. I think that's going to end up being one of the rougher contracts on the books out here in the NBA. To recap, AC Analytics capper Spurs +3. J Money is money. Spurs first half +1.5. I'm on the Bucks first quarter. Bucks money line -115. You heard Jay. Look at Dame over. Look at Dame over threes as well. Those are some of our leans. For AC Albert Win Analytics capper, for J Money is money. I am Sean Little. Wednesday NBA slate done and dusted. We will see you guys tomorrow. Don't forget it. Go download the Action Network app. We're presented by BetMGM, the king of sportsbooks. And get buckets, baby. We'll see y'all.